square.
I know. I'll forever be followed around by Huey Lewis and Phil Collins, I think.
Do you remember that in
After
American Psycho, one of the greatest killing scenes was done to a little Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis actually, one of the many stories about American Psycho being so controversial is that he wanted to pull that song off the soundtrack.
Oh, is that right? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I learned that today in my research.
Maybe he agreed to giving it to the movie without actually understanding we were kind of mocking it.
A lot of people didn't understand American Psycho. It came from the book. Nobody wanted to touch this thing. Oliver Stone had his hand in it for a second. Obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio. The budget got inflated to like 40 or 50 million. But Mary Herron, who directed it and co-wrote the script, seemed to really get from this book that was so incredibly violent, the satirical side.
Yeah, I was really surprised, actually, when I read the script myself, because I had read a few reviews of the book, and it really always suggested that it was some sort of verging on evil book, and that also it was awful, just that it was badly written. And I read the script before I read the book, and it's hilarious. And I read that, and I was crying with laughter, and I called up Mary afterwards and said, look, I really love the script, but I find it really funny.
And that's what she loved about it.
Do you mean for it to be funny?
Right.
And she said, of course. And I think that was the thing that everybody missed about the book.
That part.
You know? Because the book has so many fantastic scenes, and it's a real witty book. It's like a social commentary, and it's almost the comedy of manners, really. But then you've got some scenes that are meant to be and are really repulsive.
Right.
And so many people finish the book and kind of just remember those scenes from it instead of the rest.
I thought you were just great in that movie. That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
One of the things that Mary had said about you was that you were never afraid to be absurd in it. And that's what it was. It was so hyperbolic and over the top, these killing sprees to Huey Lewis, that there was no reason to be offended by this.
Exactly. It had to be completely over the top because the guy was a performer constantly in his life, you know? So I didn't worry about not seeming real in it.
So after that role in American Psycho, as an actor, and you're sitting there going, okay, I've just played this character, where's your mindset, I guess with your agent or something? What sort of role are you looking to do next? Or are you worried that the industry is just going to peg you as this psycho?
Well, I think there's a problem. Every single actor, you find yourself getting typecast.
Right.
And American Psycho was so good for me because I'd done nothing like that before. But then as soon as I did that, I was getting scripts for playing Satan. I was getting scripts for playing, you know, just serial killer after serial killer. And, you know, kind of in jest, a few people said to me, you know, you really have to play a good character after this.
So
otherwise, you are going to become a killer. Well, I got a telephone call and somebody on the end of the line saying that they wanted me to play Jesus. And I actually didn't. I thought it was a joke because of what my agents have been saying about how to play somebody good, but it was for real.
You got the offer to play Satan and Jesus.
Exactly, yeah. I could have done a sort of Eddie Murphy thing with the two of them, tempting him in the desert. And
so you
found that it was for real. And
you look a little bit like Jesus right now as I sit here and look at you. You know, when everybody, when they're a kid, they kind of have their own version of Jesus. I think mine was just from growing up in the house, and my dad, he didn't shave, and I thought it was you. For you, what was your version of Jesus?
Jesus, to me, was for a long time Neil Diamond. The reason being...
Neil, there's Neil there. Yeah. I think of Christ, too, when I see Neil Diamond.
Yeah, you do, don't you? It's the collars.
Now, why Neil Diamond?
It was... I tried to work it out, and it was... when I was younger, sometimes my dad would take us to church on a Sunday morning. We'd get back, have some lunch, and he would generally stick on an LP.
Right.
And on Sundays, he would nearly always stick on a Neil Diamond LP. So I just returned from church, and I always pictured him, you know, seeing him with Coming to America, on a little circular platform surrounded by thousands of people with a big beard and a white tunic on. And so I was really disappointed the first time that I saw Neil Diamond for real. I couldn't believe it. I said, that's not Neil Diamond.
When is he going to finish the song, change the water into wine, and move on?
And I keep this because actually I met my wife when I was playing Jesus, and so...
Who doesn't fall in love with Jesus?
This is what she likes.
You mentioned your father. When you were young, your mother, as I read today, was in the circus.
Yeah, briefly. She was a dancer and a clown in
the circus. That is the coolest thing ever.
It was fantastic.
What is that like as a kid when your mom's in the circus? What did she do?
She was a clown.
And
she was also the head dancing girl, you know, who walked around in fishnets and peacock headdress and everything. And
so did you, as a kid, go to like a ton of for the circus act?
Yeah, I was just there all the time, you know, backstage, hanging out.
You got your big break when Christian was 13. He was in Steven Spielberg's Empire of the Sun, which was an important film on a lot of levels. But here in America, as a 13-year-old, if you got this role and you were an aspiring actor, you'd be the man. Was it like that for you? I mean, you did the Spielberg film.
No, I'm from England. It's a little different there.
Why do they hate Spielberg in England?
It's not so much a hatred of Spielberg. It's just there's often a sort of a sense of not stepping out of line, not doing something that would suggest that maybe people think you're better than them or whatever. So that's what a lot of people say to me. In the States, it would have been, you know, you're the man in school. I just had hell for the next few years. You know, it was like really hideous.
Beat you? You were in a Spielberg film.
It was like that. I mean, by the time I was 14, they were calling me a has-been and things like that.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's how smart English kids are when they're 14.
And the movie didn't do particularly well, and suddenly they all got an interest in box office numbers and were kind of taunt me with the fact that it didn't do very well. I couldn't give a crap, you know, if it did or not, but they were fascinated about it. And it wasn't much fun.
Right.
It really wasn't.
It might not have done well at the box office. Empire of the Sun was, as I was mentioning to you earlier, I find interesting. It was at a point in Spielberg's career. And now, being such a great actor and being much older and looking back, I wondered if you had any thoughts on that. Because he was known for Jaws and of course, E.T. and Raiders and the blockbuster director he was. Yeah. And then in '85, he did an important film, Color Purple. And he discovered Whoopi Goldberg. In '87, Empire of the Sun, he discovered you. People call that his important filmmaking era, if you will.
Yeah.
Then he went on, of course, to do Schindler's List.
Yeah, well, when Empire of the Sun was made, a lot of people were saying that he couldn't do that kind of a movie, that it wasn't his cup of tea and that he wasn't capable of it. And then when it did come out, I think by his standards, it didn't do fantastically at the box office.
Right.
And so people kind of panned
But it might have given him the confidence to do a film like Schindler's List.
I think it probably did. And then a lot of people, when he made Schindler's List, look back and say, well, actually, he has done this kind of thing before, and he's done it very well. Right. Because it is a great movie, Empire of the Sun.
Yeah, and he did it in the same year he did Schindler's List, if I'm not mistaken, the same year as Jurassic Park, and he ended up showing everybody he could do both sides.
Yeah.
It's Christian Bale. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, more with him and the Counting Crows in here, too.
Why do people love new Ziploc tabletops? Plates with lids. Why didn't I think of that?
They're way nicer than paper plates, and they go in the dishwasher, so it makes them really easy.
They're good for meals.
If my kids don't finish their meals, I can put a lid on it and put it in the fridge.
Spaghetti and meatballs, very nice. And I'm liking leftovers.
The food stays in, bugs stay out.
I like anything that makes my job easier, so I can spend time with my kids.
New Ziploc tabletops.
S.C. Johnson, a family company. I'm not lazy. I just like easy.
Buy any new 2002 Mitsubishi and never pay interest. Plus, make no payments for an entire year. Looks like the best deal in the car business just got better. Introducing Mitsubishi's Summer Clearance, where you can get any new 2002 Mitsubishi and never pay interest. Never. Plus, you'll have no car payments for an entire year. Good on any new 2002 Mitsubishi. Never pay interest. Plus, no payments for 1 year. Hurry, because never won't last forever.
It's real simple. I spend cheese with bees and drop it 90 grand. Ain't nothing for me. Throw your arms up, move from right to left. Got ladies running their hands across my face and chest.
What the? Pookie, T-Money, roll me out. Zoom in. See that right there? How they get there?
Yo, they said they was with you.
No. They said with you. I remember distinctly they said they was with you. Somebody better know something.
Smirnoff Ice premium malt beverage. Intelligent nightlife.
Joining the right one changed our lives.
We both have busy careers, which made it nearly impossible to meet quality people. But the right one uses a personalized matching system that ensures you meet people with compatible attitudes. And they guarantee all their programs.
The right one's relationship consultants were very friendly. They helped me step by step through the program. The most important thing is that they background checks on all the members. And that made me perfect. I'm happier than I've ever been, and I'd recommend it to anyone.
Christian Bale, Counting Crows will play in a little bit. When I before the show, I went into Christian's dressing room. I think I shook your hand and said hi, met your wife, and then immediately went on a rampage about how much I love monkeys.
Right.
I apologize for that.
Carson's own personal
Christian's like, get away from me, you creepy.
Attractions. It's fine. Anybody
But you
can like
took
a
a
monkey.
trip to Borneo.
I did, yeah, back in January.
Yeah, and you went there specifically. How did that come about?
We went there to visit orangutans.
Now, why orangutans?
We actually, something that my wife and I have done every year on our anniversary, we've headed somewhere to get married in a different cultural fashion. So we've been to Tahiti and got married there
every year
on the beach, and then we wanted to do that again this year.
Right.
And we were sitting watching, I think the National Geographic channel, and my wife looked at the orangutans and went, "I'd love to get married with orangutans."
And you did.
Around us. And so we thought, well, sod it, let's do it. Let's head over there. And we didn't
I just said I like monkeys to you. That's all I said. You went and got married with orangutans.
Well, we tried. We were hoping that you could actually be married by an orangutan or something. That didn't turn out to be possible, but we did have.
I love the fact that you tried.
We had a ceremony with 5 Buddhist monks.
Right.
2 of them who giggled the whole way through it all
right.
at us, and then afterwards, we made a trip over to Borneo, and they have a great center there for damaged and orphaned orangutans, and they help them reintroduce them back.
You want to
into
see
the
my
wild.
orangutan? My boss actually gave me. I swear to God, I love orangutans and monkeys so much. We have a picture. They adopted this. That's actually mine.
Oh, look at him! Wow, he's a big
one.
one.
It's the San Diego Zoo out in California. His name is Chippy, and that's actually mine.
Wow, they're amazing-looking creatures, aren't they?
They are. I want to talk about Rain of Fire. Is this your first big-time?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
CGI over-the-top summer blockbuster.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not too over the top.
Right. When I saw the the trailer for it, or no, I saw like a making of it.
Right.
It seemed like when they were shooting it, they had like a crane, which might have been the eye line for a dragon, but they were actually shooting fire at you.
Whole lot of fire in the movie, yeah, and pretty much all of the fire that we use is for real. It's not CGI at all.
That's got to scare the crap out of you a little bit.
Well, there's kind of a stupid confidence that I often find I get on movie sets, that I will do things that I would never normally do.
Right.
And I can't quite explain it other than you somehow feel it's a movie, it can't really hurt.
Right, sure.
So I'll go running through, a ball of fire, whereas in normal life I'd say, what the hell, you got to be crazy. No way I'm going to bloody do that.
But we think that the actors, especially in a film like this with tons of fire, have just stuntmen everywhere, and that you're like in a trailer hanging out with an orangutan or something.
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah. Not on this one. We were surrounded by fire most of the time. It was diesel fumes. It was a bloody stinky, dirty set. And
you had like a near miss. Did you do the fireball bounce off the
it's
wall?
an unpredictable thing. I mean, fire, the special effects guys, they control it to a point. But, we did a bunch of rehearsals, and it does the same thing. It does the same thing. And then you come to shoot, and this fireball went across me, came back up, bounced across a wall. It just does
a
the
real
most bizarre
fireball.
things.
It bounces across the wall.
Across and came straight back over the top of me. But all that is good stuff, and it ended up in the movie.
You're wearing
well, they put a kind of a flame retardant gel on your skin so that you don't get completely scorched. I mean, it hurts, it burns, you feel the heat, but you don't get any marks afterwards.
And then Matthew McConaughey's in this, and he's crazy, that guy, right? I mean, he's out of his mind.
He is.
He's just whack.
Matthew is quite a character, and
he gets into it.
I really liked working with him. Yeah, I really love seeing that when you get another actor who really immerses themselves into a part, and his character's this sort of insane militiaman with a 1,000-yard stare called Van Zandt, and we both kind of went nuts in Ireland for 5 months.
And we have this clip, and I think at the end of this
is when Matthew really went nuts. If this is the fight sequence,
yes, it's when they were shooting the movie.
Big old
at the end of the fight sequence, he headbutted you, knocked you out.
He stood up and he just bang headbutted me.
Was it an accident? Was he supposed to come this close, or is he so psycho he hits you?
He was meant to come that close, but I kind of egged him on.
Right.
And beforehand, I sort of said to him, let's really do this. Let's make it dirty and scrappy.
We were asking for it.
And I was hitting him a bit as well, but I ended up looking like the Elephant Man for the rest of the evening. I had a huge welt.
Let's go ahead and check out a scene. Christian Bale is in this Rain of Fire. Here it is.
I said no! No, quit!
Get out of my way, quick.
It's not good acting. He actually hit him. I wish we had more time, Christian. We gotta go.
No action involved.
Christian Bale, Rain of Fire. Let's check it out. Counting Close is coming up right